Hi everyone, this is Charmander, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about a very controversial topic, which is how much money did I spend playing this game after playing it for 1 year? So I haven't seen any YouTubers make a video about this, and I think there's a lot of shame that it comes with spending money in this game. Since starting playing this game, I actually recorded every single dollar that I spent trying to play this game. So if you look at my current total login days, it's 365 days. Today is exactly my 1 year anniversary in this game, and I've decided, you know what, I'm gonna pull the curtains back and I'm gonna be talking about exactly how much money I spent, followed by the reasons why I spent that much money in this game. I'll also talk about how I funded the money to play this game, what my goals are for spending that much money, what I did and what I have to show for in regards to heroes from my spending plans for the future, whether I plan on staying at the current rate that I'm spending or if I'm gonna drop down or even increase, and finally my predictions for the spending requirements in this game in order for you to stay competitive, as well as my prediction for the current life cycle for this game, whether or not it's still worth it to invest money in this game. So with that being said, after tabulating all my expenses that I have dropped into this game, the total amount of money that I spent after playing it for 365 days is $2,752.65 US dollars. That is a huge amount of money. I was absolutely horrified when I finally tabulated everything and I realized, oh my god, I spent double what I thought I did. I thought I spent maybe 1,500 US dollars for that 1 year. Turns out it was double, and I think that's the trap that you fall into when you are playing a game with a lot of microtransactions. So I definitely fell for it. I was absolutely horrified, and I did not feel good for the first few hours after coming to the realization how much money I spent. You know, the first thing that comes to mind is when you spend that much money, it's like, oh, I could have bought a really good PC with that money, or I could have done something fun with it, like traveled to more countries, as I love traveling. And then I started backward rationalizing my spending, and I said, you know what? You planned for this. Halfway through the year, you made the decision that instead of taking what was supposed to be spending for the next 2 years, you're gonna compress it to 1 year instead. That way, you can be strong, and the second year will be pure enjoyment of you being able to fight harder in the game, being a ranged rally captain, as opposed to waiting for 2 years to build up your hero at a lower spend rate, and then by then you can finally enjoy the game at the level that you want to enjoy it. So that's kind of how I backward rationalize it. However, the truth is, it is still a tough pill to swallow, and I did go over budget. So I tried to see where I went over budget, because the amount that I felt would be on the reasonable side would be 1,800 to 2,000 US dollars for the entire year. Now, I clearly went over budget by 750 US dollars, and that does not feel good. I feel like I have failed myself because I went over budget. So the amount I spent is $2,752.65 for the entire year, which is $229.39 US per month. This puts me at a high mid spend level if you watch my video guides on my advice on how you should approach this game based on the spending tier you are currently at. So I thought I was at mid spend, not high mid spend. So I think that's where I feel disappointed with myself, because I felt like I should have been at mid spend, not high mid spend, but I was still in the mid spend category, so I did not cross over to dolphin level yet. The biggest regret I had in terms of what I purchased in this game, it's actually just mainly two things. One was buying Bella shards from the daily boost, because I do not plan on using her at all, so I felt like that was wasted money. And the second one was buying gold outside of the 20% more gold promotion. So when you buy gold in this game, usually every Monday or a random day during the week, they will give you 20% more gold, but sometimes I didn't buy enough gold, so I was forced to buy it at only 5% more gold, which I felt like I was wasting money. I was also buying from the Google Play Store when I first started playing this game, which was a big mistake, because first they tax you in the Google Play Store, and second, you don't get the bonus gold that you get when you buy from the gold store. But that mistake was only the first 3 to 4 months, so it wasn't a big deal because I wasn't spending that much the first 3 months of the game. It was at the 6-month period of playing this game when I decided I would be increasing my spending and squeezing my spending that was supposed to be for 2 years worth into 1 year, because my justification was I want my second year to be focused on fighting at the level that I want instead of still trying to build up my account and my heroes. So next, I'm going to discuss the two main reasons why I spent that much money. So as you know, this game is here to fill a void for a lot of people. So what void did it fill in my life? As of making this video, I am in the tail end of my 1 year trip living outside of Canada, where I normally live. And normally when I'm in Canada, at least once every 2 weeks, usually once a week, me and my friends would get together and we would play couch co-op on my PS5. However, because I was living outside Canada for a year, I will be away from my friends. And I think 2 months into my trip, I started missing that social aspect in my life where I get to game with my friends. So I brought up the idea that, hey, let's go play this game together. And it's a mobile game about zombies, and it'll be a fun social thing that we can do. And my friends got on board, and I do play with my real life friends. If you look at my alliance, Jigsaw is one of my real life friends, and also another player here, which is Pikachu. So we've all been playing for 1 year together now, which has been super fun. So I don't regret having that social aspect of things in my life. In real life, I actually don't have any other vices. Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. And even when I hang out with my girlfriend, we don't spend that much money. I wouldn't say we're thrifty, it's just that we don't go out a lot. We usually save money, go on a big trip or two every year. But yeah, the only thing that I spend my money on is really eating takeout and playing PS5 games, which is not that much. So for me, spending money on this game, even though it was a lot of money, it was also, you could argue, just going to my entertainment budget per week. So if you look at what $229.39 US per month is, that's just a little over $55 US per week actually on entertainment. So if you put it that way, it doesn't seem that bad, but when you put it together in a big lump sum, it is huge, especially for a freaking mobile game. The second main reason I've already outlined earlier is that I wanted to squeeze in 2 years of spending into 1 year instead. That way I can have one really strong hero lineup that I can use to thoroughly enjoy the year 2 of my game instead of spending time to build it up. And I did have a prediction that I would be playing this game for at least 2 years. So my second year would be used purely from an enjoyment standpoint. I also don't know what's going to happen in year 3 and year 4, whether this game is still going to be relevant or it's going to be obsolete, and I would have wasted my time trying to build up slowly in a budget manner, only to get to that point, year 3 and year 4, only to find out the game is obsolete and I wasted my money. So I think the game is still going strong right now. So the next year is definitely going to be a year that's not going to be a wasted year in terms of the game starting to dwindle and the player base starting to quit. Next, I'm going to discuss how I funded the money to spend for this game. So I'm actually a YouTuber outside of this game. I have another YouTube channel that I run, and it currently has 19,000 subscribers, and it generates on average $700 US per month. So that's actually how I funded this game. Now, in the year 2024, I actually generated $8,400 US from my other YouTube channel, and $2,752.65 is 33% of my YouTube earnings, which I allocate to this game. Now, where I feel disappointed is I only wanted to allocate 20% of my YouTube earnings from last year into this game. So I went over budget by 13%, so I'm not very happy with that. My earnings for my YouTube channel is also going down this year because YouTube has changed the algorithm for my other YouTube channel. So it has suffered in terms of revenue earned, but it's just with YouTube where you just need to adjust to the new algorithm and figure out a way to make it work for you again. So what were my goals for spending that much money? My first goal was to future-proof myself by having one super strong hero, and also to get a minimum of VIP 13 to get 3 legendary hero fragments per day. So this is future-proofing myself because even if I drop down my spending, I am still getting that 3 legendary hero fragments per day, which will allow me to awaken a hero or transcend a hero even if I'm not spending much money in the game. Basically, this guarantees 2 awakened heroes per year, and usually more because usually you get legendary hero fragments from weekly events. So most likely it's going to be 3 or 4 awakened legendary heroes per year. So that's how I wanted to future-proof myself. I also wanted to get one hero where at all 6 slots I would have a 5-star standard gold armament. That way I can be at 3.7 million power level, and I would be able to rally, fight in field or garrison, and be able to compete at a decent level. I also wanted to get my workshop as high level as possible. I was aiming for level 15 for range attack and range defense, and I'll show you later where I am currently at. And I also wanted to spend money on speed ups to get T5 and T6 as fast as possible because the game changes for you a lot once you get to T5 and to T6. I also wanted to awaken at least Julia, Lewis, and Bard because my goal was to be a range rally captain. So Julia and Lewis was the first 2 heroes in the range category that I awakened, and I was able to do a range rally a little over the 6-month period. It wasn't that strong, but it progressively got stronger as my armaments improved. And then Bard, I did not awaken until roughly 10 or 11 months in playing into this game. My other goal was also to max out Bard's super weapon and max out Bard's transcended skills, which I haven't done yet, but I'll kind of show you where I am in my progress for that. And I also wanted to get lots of rewards from PvP PvP events, and the only way to do that is to have strong heroes that has strong armaments and a strong workshop at the very least. Next, what did I buy and what do I have to show for in regards to heroes from my spending? So after spending $2,752.65 US for the entire first year of playing this game, I have gotten to, as you can see, VIP 14, which will now help me get 3 legendary hero fragments per day, as well as other amazing bonuses such as heal speed, reduce healing costs, increase in squad travel speed, and squad capacity. So this essentially helps me future-proof myself even if I lower my spending. I also was able to get T6 in range as well as T6 in infantry. So I don't have T6 yet for rider, but it is work in progress and I'm going to be working on it in the next few months. In terms of heroes that I've awakened that you would normally need to spend money on if you don't want to wait too long, I have a Dot awakened. She is the first hero that I ever awakened in this game actually, and that was when I was an infantry main before I decided to switch to being range main. So I decided to switch to range main roughly 5 months into playing this game. By then I've already awakened a Dot, and I don't regret awakening a Dot actually. She has been a really useful hero and she's really good. So zero regrets having a Dot awakened. The second hero that I awakened is actually Lewis, and again I don't regret awakening Lewis. He has been a staple in my lineup. He's amazingly strong. I still use him. He's better for counter rallies than Bard paired with Julia, and he's also better at Antipede, also better at the arena. So there is definitely a lot of use for Lewis. And from a pure damage output, Julia and Lewis seems to be stronger than Julia and Bard outside of rallying a tower or the opponents. Next hero I awaken is Julia. As you can see, I also have Julia at 3.9 million, close to 4 million armaments, and I'll show you more about my armaments shortly. After Julia, the other hero that I awaken is Bard, and Bard actually is not just awakened. I have 3 out of the 4 of his super weapon already unlocked. I have 108 of his Bard energy core. I actually have 50 more in my inventory that I need to open from a chest. So I actually have 158, meaning I need about 62 more Bard energy core to fully awaken the super weapon. So I did fall short of that goal from my spending for the year, but that's okay. I think I can eventually get it this year just from ranking in Splendid Steel. In terms of skill transcendence, my Bard is 3 out of 5 when it comes to transcending him. So I have the first one here, Mass Annihilation, followed by Purge Weakness, and then the fourth one, which is Direct Confrontation. I skipped the third one because I felt like it would be the least useful in terms of what I do in this game, which is range rally. So it's only going to increase my range squad defense by 5% more. However, it does make him more viable in the field, but he would be in my second or third lineup for my range field hero. So it's not a priority. And obviously, once I awaken him, he would be hitting 4 enemies instead of 3, which is really good actually. I find this to be a really good skill. So I can't wait to awaken him and deal even more damage to anyone that tries to swarm my range rally when I am rallying the opponents. Besides Bard, I also spent money to fast track awaken Lyn. So Lyn is also awakened, and Lyn has been one of my best investment for range field actually. It makes my Julia Lyn combination very tanky in the field. Like it's almost as if they have the same amount of defense and HP as an infantry, which is really good. She has a high amount of counter damage as well. So when I'm fighting people in the field and they're trying to swarm me because they see a range, they're like, oh, range, let's swarm this guy. Well, the counter damage is killing all of them and getting a lot of kills from counter damage alone. So I've been very pleased with actually fast tracking Lyn and spending that extra money to get her awakened. So those are the 5 heroes that you would need money to awaken that I awakened in my first year. Technically, I can awaken Bianca also. I'm just 1 short away from awakening her. And I actually have enough of the legendary hero fragments to awaken her. So the only reason I haven't yet is because I'm saving those fragments for Bard to transcend his last skill. And on top of the ones that you have to pay to awaken a hero, I also have awakened some of the free legendary heroes. So I have Maxine awakened, I have Jaden awakened, and I also have Nora awakened. But those guys are free. You don't need to spend money to awaken those guys. The other thing I have to show for also is my Julia. As you can see, I have 3.9 million in armaments for her, almost 4 million. So I do have 5-star for all the slots with a few red hones as well. My IE augmenter, this one is kind of free because you get it from PvP events. So this one is 3 out of 5. Have an awesome hone here with the damage reduction. EM turret, I screwed this up because when I first started playing this game, I didn't do the event properly where you save the hammers and use it for this event. So I'm behind. I should be 1-star actually, but it is what it is. Everyone makes mistakes. Now for my body, I actually got 1 superb at 5-star. So I'm very happy with that because this helps future-proof me even more, even if my spending level goes down, because a superb vest armament here or any superb pieces will allow you to go even higher than the normal 3.7 million that you would get if you only had 5-star for the 6 slots for the normal gold armaments. I am working on the superb for the backpack as well. It's currently a 3-star, so I have 5 more fragments to get it to 5-star. So I do think I can get this year, even if I don't spend that much money, just because 1 year is a long time to potentially get 5-star for a superb, especially if I'm hyper focusing on just one piece. Now, will I get a third superb at 5-star if I don't spend money? It's actually highly unlikely for the year because it's so hard to get superbs if you're not spending money on this game. So I think potentially the best case scenario is for me during my career for Doomsday, at least for the second year, I'm gonna have a second superb at 5-star. If I get a third piece at 5-star, it would probably be in my third or fourth year if I'm still playing the game by then. Just because I'm so far away from getting to 5-star. Like, look at my gun, it has no star. And if you look at my boots, it has 2-star. My pants has 0-star. And I don't even have the helmet. So as you can see, it's really far away. The closest one I have is potentially the boots. I can also get her armaments higher if I just hone it properly, get more reds into the proper slots. So that's just going to take some time. Other things that I have to show for is also my equipment. So as you can see, the ones that I really needed, I have red for the backpack, red for the range helmet, and red for the range gun. And for my parts, I have purple for the body, purple for the gun, and for the helmet, I'm missing one more purple. So I think I will get this eventually in a few months. So I'm okay with those in terms of parts. Now for the workshop itself, I was able to get level 12 for the range attack and also level 12 for the range defense. This is why my range squads are so tanky, because I actually have a huge amount of defense for my range team. So that's what I have to show for from all that spending. I think it's not bad considering that I do have one really strong hero. I have some okay heroes as well, like my Dut is 2.1 million, so he's okay for the field. And my Lynn that I currently have my armaments with, I usually don't have armaments on her. I'm probably going to put it to Lewis, but basically my second range squad has 2.4 million in armaments, which is okay. My Rider has 1.6 million, which I'm just leveling up very, very slowly using the armament shop that you exchange your metal shards for. So nothing really to write home about because they're not amazing. But my goal here was always just one hero as strong as I could potentially get them to. And I also got the B-Duck March skin. So what is my future plans in the future in regards to spending in this game? So after being able to add up all my spending and how I felt about it, I've decided to lower my spending, but mainly for one reason. And that main reason is actually because the Canadian dollar is so weak right now compared to the US dollar. And I just don't want to spend money in this game when the exchange rate is so bad because the US dollar is so powerful compared to the Canadian dollar. So moving forward, I plan on spending mostly on the $20 monthly gold pass, which will give me 4,099 gold, which is equivalent to $40.99, as well as the $2 weekly gold pass, and I'll buy it every week, so times 4 if I count 4 weeks in a month, which will give me 409 gold or $4.09. So in total, my budget for the month would just be $57.35 worth of gold that I can allocate into purchasing stuff in this game. I also get some gold as salary for being an R4 in my alliance and having a job, whether that be being the war general or doing accounting or running events. So I'll get a little bit from that as well. So slightly over 57 US dollars per month. Now I did already purchase Super Monthly Pass for the next several months. So I don't have to purchase this anytime soon. So for the next several months, I can spend the money that will go here into something else. I will continue to buy the privilege subscription, which I think is very important, and the workshop, which is absolutely mandatory in my opinion. So customization contest, $5. This one I'm going to buy every month, which is going to be 20 US dollars per month. This is a must to stay competitive in this game. I will also purchase the $5 that allows you to unlock the island raid shop, which I think is super important. And the remaining of the money will go towards mystery treasure for me to get superb backpack fragments. Now, I won't be able to get the 2 cycles of that mystery treasure. I'll only get to 1 cycle, but it is what it is because I am lowering my spending. So that's what's going to happen. After my super monthly pass has ended, I do have to spend money on that in the future. So that leaves about 12 US dollars extra that I can spend towards mystery treasure every month. So maybe 6 to 8 months from now, I might slightly increase my spending just to be able to get the superb armaments from the mystery treasure event. But that's about it. I'm going to commit to staying just from the monthly gold pass and the weekly gold pass moving forward, thus reducing my budget that I spend into this game to 28 US dollars per month. Now, what is my prediction for the spending requirements for this game? And what is my prediction on the Doomsday game life cycle itself. So in my opinion, my account will actually start to decay 6 months from now. So 6 to 12 months, I think my account will start to decay because I am not investing money into beasts. And basically, beasts is pretty much the new armaments where you have to rank them up in order to make them stronger. So you have to rank them up all the way to 13 from the looks of it. So that is going to be a lot of investment. I do not plan on spending money to invest in that. So I'm only going to be able to rank them up based on the free shards I get. So maybe just the elites that I can potentially rank up properly. So when beast becomes really important, my account will start to suffer a great deal and I can expect a decay. And I think it's going to happen between 6 to 12 months from now. What's probably going to happen 1 year from now is there's a chance that I won't be strong enough anymore to be the main rally captain for my alliance or any other alliance because other players has just gotten way too strong. In which case, I would be relegated to becoming the backup rally captain, which I'm okay with, or being a field fighter. I think right now the Doomsday life cycle is at the very peak and it's on its way down from the peak, right? So the developer, once something is at its peak, it's time to milk cash from the player base before people start quitting the game. So right now, I feel like the game developers is milking the players off their money to be as profitable as possible to recoup the investment that they spent to develop this game as well as to pay for their staff, which is totally understandable. This is a business at the end of the day. If you're free to play, then the honest truth is you are the product in this game, meaning you are the person that the developer wants to play this game so that people who spend money feels good about themselves that they are killing players, because essentially the free to play players are the ones that they're going to kill, or the low spend players, because they can't fight back against spenders. So this is why I think being free to play is a dangerous place to be, because you become the product instead of the consumer. Now, will I play this game past the second year mark? At this point, I will see if I will be playing year 3 and year 4. I'm for sure going to play second year of this game, fully enjoy my investment for the second year. And when a decay hits, I'll play it by ear. So another potential possibility that can happen in the future is the player base starts to drop. So a lot of people that spend some money in this game will quit the game. So actually there will be a less player base, and the people that's playing this game, a lot of them will be free to play. So in which case I'm not completely obsolete yet. So in that case, I can play at the lower bracket and still do pretty well. So I'm hoping that would be the case and I can continue to enjoy the game in year 3 as well. But I'll play it by ear, see what happens in year 2 and go from there. So anyways, I feel really vulnerable making this video just because the topic of money and spending this game is a taboo topic for a lot of people. It's a place of shame, but I think if the community talks about it more frequently, I think it becomes less of a problem. And I think it becomes a problem when you are hiding it, you're not shining a light onto it. So the fact that I was able to shine a light to my actual spending, get a hard reality check on how much I actually spend this game, that I was able to get a wake-up call that, hey, dude, it's time to cut down your spending. You did enough. You are strong enough now to enjoy this game. Let's just pay the monthly gold pass and the weekly gold pass just to slow down the decay of your account, and you're going to be good to go for year 2 and even potentially year 3. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.